Who is walking away from Salt Lake City, Utah as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion? Will it be CM Punk or JEY USO to win the vacated title from Seth freaking Rollins, who had to drop the title after injury at Crown Jewel? There are more matches on the show that we're going to be discussing today, including the WWE Championship on the line. We've got Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. The Women's Championship is on the line from SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton against Jade Cargill. And last but not least, we have got the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Dirty Dominik Mysterio going against Rusev and Penta in a triple threat. Steve, welcome to the video. It's great to have you on board. As always, Saturday night's main event is going to go strictly for Peacock now in the US, which will hopefully get rid of all those adverts. Hopefully coming to Netflix as well for international viewers, although I've not seen it on my home screen as of yet. But yeah, I'm quite pumped for this Saturday night's main event. I think this is the most eagerly anticipated one since the first one they did last December. Please give me your excitement levels for Saturday night's main event.
It's a Saturday night's main event. I find it very hard to be excited for these. Potentially a new champion. Maybe there might be something else on this show. I don't know. It's hard for me to kind of get above a 5. Like I said, the fact we might get a new champion, do you know what I mean? It's WWE at the end of the day, so who knows? But yeah, I'm the same as you. I think this is probably the most I've been excited for one since they started, because I've not really, and I'll be honest, I've not watched any of them live. Like, it's always been a case of going back and watching them, and I'm very much I'll stay up and watch it at 1 o'clock in the morning kind of guy. But you never know. This might be a turning point for them, and they might be a lot better. It's just it's the commercial break thing. Like, they try and advertise these things as these special shows, and they don't feel any different from a Raw or a SmackDown. So I find it really hard to get invested or excited for these.
As I say now, it's going to be a Peacock exclusive now moving forward. So I think from the state side of things, that takes away a lot of the commercial breaks. There'll probably be some adverts, as we usually get in WWE shows and premium live events. We even get those now with ESPN, obviously from the state side, which means we see them on Netflix. But I personally feel like that this will be a turning point. We're not going to have Goldberg, career-ending promos cut off halfway through as the show goes off air. John Cena's last match is the next one of these Saturday night's main events. So this is almost like a teaser of what we can expect for that. I think they're going to start heightening these up a bit more. I think this one will have more prestige. There's 4 championship matches here on the line. That's enough to make me feel like this show is important. I'm actually going to go as high as an 8 out of 10. This is the highest I've been for a long time for Saturday night's main event. Not usually my cup of tea. Usually the most excited thing I am for Saturday night's main event is seeing how much Jesse Ventura can get himself or WWE cancelled. He's really got that sort of drunk sort of uncle at Christmas time vibe about him, doesn't he? Where he can just say or do anything. But it'd be great to have him on board once again. But yeah, I'm hyped for this. It's got the retro feel. I love the old school music, the style that they put in there for it as well. And I could say some big time matches here. And obviously the match most looking forward to, I don't think is any surprise for anybody. It's got to be Punk versus JEY USO. He's got to see who's walking away as that World Heavyweight Champion.
I mean, I don't know. I think I'm kind of more excited for Cody and Drew, if I'm honest. I think, at least with Cody and Drew, I know the kind of quality of match I'm going to get. With Jay, it's very a case of you have to see on the night. So I think for me, I'd have to actually go over the other match in Cody and Drew.
Seems fair. Seems fair indeed. We are going to dive into the comments. C Nation Dog is already with us. Great to see you, CD. We've got other viewers as well. Feel free to join in and share your predictions for the show. CD saying it's a premium live event in his book. It's only on Peacock. That's right. It's no TV special anymore. And obviously he says 7 out of 10 as well. Hype for the show. I like it. I like there's some hype involved in there. We're not going to waste any time. We'll get straight into it then, giving our predictions then. Starting off, I thought a good match we could start off with actually is the Women's Championship. Let's do it. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill, because this one took a turn for the books last week on SmackDown. We've had a couple of matches previously with Tiffany and Jade, of course, notably SummerSlam was the big one, which of course Tiffany retained the Women's Championship, and it was a triple threat match with Jade and Nia Jax, which, let's be fair, didn't go to plan for anybody towards the end of that match, but Tiffany did still walk out on top with the title. Jade went to make the save this past week on SmackDown for Tiffany, who was vulnerable with Kiana James and Julia, for Jade to clear house, only then to turn heel on Tiffany Stratton, attacking her brutally at ringside as well, including was a moment where Tiffany's foot or ankle was on the steel steps, her leg was hanging in the air, and Jade made a target for the left leg, either the knee or the leg, and certainly stomped on it. It certainly made a big impact, regardless, that I think it will be a factor when it comes into this match. I'm really looking forward to this match. If you did ask me a rematch after SummerSlam with these two, I'd have said, yeah, didn't need it. But with a bit of heat and with the fact that Jade now seems to be that she's gone to, being a heel, which I think really suits her character much more. I think they can get a lot more mileage out of Jade as a heel as well. I'm actually hyped for this match, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think the character change is a massive need for Jade because not a lot of people are behind her in terms of her wrestling and her character work. And obviously, if you go back to her days in AEW with that TBS championship, she did a hell of a lot better. So hopefully it's a case of, look, it's not gone to plan so far as this massive babyface that she was supposed to be. Let's change it up and see what happens. And yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, most of these matches I can see titles changing. I think there's a high probability, like, when I say high, 51-49%. Do you know what I mean? I think there's a potential that every title on this show could change hands because of how well they've been built. Do I think this is the right time for Jade Cargill to be a world champion? I'm not too sure. I can't really justify the character change and the title run in 1 week's build. I think I need a little bit more. And I think that's my whole reason why I'm going to say Tiffany retains. Just because, again, the shock value might be something. And obviously WWE are big on moments at the minute. But I just don't think 1 week's worth of character, not even a character build, it's a heel turn. So there's been no character work, portrayal, or anything like that. But I think Tiffany scrapes through this one and manages to retain.
I would have liked to seen this match take place at Survivor Series. I will say that, just to give a bit of time for it to breathe and, like you say, develop a bit more story going into the heel turn. Perhaps more of an explanation. We got a bit of a brief explanation from Jade. She said, "Look, I'm not going to wait in line. I'm going to take it. It's there. People that wait in line don't get anywhere, and I've bided my time. It's now time for me to take over and take this title from Tiffany." So we have kind of got the explanation already in 1 week, and like you say, we've got one SmackDown to go, but then there's the match. But with the angle that's taken place with Tiffany there, hurting herself, she's protected in defeat. So I think that's one reason why Jade needs to win this match. She's just turned heel. It gives credibility for her to win this match as well. If she loses it, that harms her even further. And I'm going to say it. I mean, it's sink or swim time for Jade Cargill. She's been now with the company for 2 years. WWE brought her in to be a megastar. And one way to do that is to give her a women's championship run. And whether she's ready or not, this feels like it is the time. And I'm going to stress now, I think, another reason why, or two reasons why. One, Tiffany's been champion for the entire year. She won it in the first SmackDown of the year. It's time to freshen things up in that division. She's had that title for a long time. Where does Tiffany go after this? Honestly, I'm not quite sure. Yes, you could do Julia, but she's currently the United States champion. You could just do that for the United States Championship. Tiffany lost her first match last month now to Stephanie Vaquer. We said at the time, Stephanie's beginning, Tiffany's ending. Well, then it's time for a new beginning. Jade Cargill. Where does she move after this? Bold prediction from me comes into WrestleMania season. We start thinking about it. The tickets are on sale. If she wins that title this Saturday at Saturday Night's main event, I'll predict we'll get Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair for that women's championship at WrestleMania next year.
Yeah, I mean, that's don't get me wrong. I can see that being the end goal, but I'm looking at that roster and I'm thinking to myself, like, who is on the SmackDown women's roster at the minute that could easily be a filler champion or a filler opponent for Jade between now and WrestleMania? And I won't lie, SmackDown is thin for faces. Like, your only other two faces at the minute big enough are probably Bliss and Flair, who are both tag team champions. Everyone else is kind of just a bit meh. Like, Nia Jax is a heel. Tiffany will probably get a rematch, sure. They might bring Trish in for a match. Zelina Vega's a heel. Nikki Cross is doing whatever Nikki Cross is doing. Michin, maybe, but not be funny if Michin can't even win a United States title match. What's the worth in her being in a championship title spot? There's not a lot of people there for Jade to face, which is what I'd be fine with delaying this till Survivor Series. Screwy finish, whatever. It's a glorified house show, so you can get away with it. Build it to Survivor Series where we do get that challenge. I'd like it to almost be to a point where Jade is like 99% won this, and Tiffany wins with a lucky roll-up, scrapes through, But then obviously it just forces a rematch at Survivor Series. I would much prefer that.
I think we'll get a match of Survivor Series either way, and that'll be the rubber match between these two. It'll be the concluding feud for these. And obviously, then we have the likes of the Royal Rumble, the Elimination Chamber. So you have ways to get Jade through as champion to that point where she's not going to always defend the title. It's about who's going to be actually gunning for her. That's where the focus is going to be. But like you say, we are getting to a point, I do think, in general WWE, I think we need a bit of a transfer window, a shake-up, a draft, something to bring one or two names around and move over, perhaps even an NXT call-up, something to just put people in the title picture and in the scene to keep Jade occupied up until the point where Bianca does return. But it's going to be interesting. But you've gone for Tiffany. I've gone for Jade. I like it's a hot start here on the prediction stream. And we've got actually a lot of comments coming as well. I'll start with Viveric's one. And he's actually just said, did we watch Halloween Havoc? Yes, we did. If time allows, we'll talk a little bit about it. We're on a little bit of a time limit this evening, but if we get through the predictions quick enough and we want to talk about that, perhaps a couple of other WWE topics or whatever, we'll see if we can get into a bit of a mini Q&A format as well. Tino's time is in the house. Tina, thank you for joining us. Hope you're keeping well. Pierre's also with us. Thank you for joining us. Pierre says, good news, not on NBC, so there'll be no commercial breaks here. I also asked the question about do we think that this then will be a longer Saturday night's main event than what we've had in the past. Certainly is potential to do so. I'd like to hope it won't be much longer just because of the fact that I don't need every WWE show to be 3 to 4 hours long, but at the same time, some of the matches on Saturday night's main event have felt very rushed. So I'm not against this being a 2-hour 45 show, maybe just shy of 3 hours.
But with 4 matches on the card, I very much doubt it. What, you're going to do Cody Drew like 45 minutes and you're going to do Dave Punk 45 minutes? I struggle to see how Jay will get through a 45-minute match. I doubt this will be longer than like 2 hours at most, if there's only 4 on the card. They'll probably add a 5th one by the weekend, but 2 hours 15, I think it'll push.
Do you think they'll add the 5th match? If so, any predictions of what it might be?
Yeah, probably. What it will be, though, I don't know. Like Priest versus Black as a blow-off match, maybe. So that means it could be something that fills it.
That would be a really good suggestion, actually. Yeah, I think that works really, really well. Maybe a Dragunov Open challenge, just have all the titles on the line. But yeah. Would be nice
Dragon
to have
Lee and AJ versus someone, tag titles on the line. Who knows?
Yeah, I'd like another women's match, if I'm brutally honest. I think that would have been the one. I was expecting Maxine Dupree versus Becky Lynch, but that's been delayed for the time being. So we'll wait and see when that comes in. Perhaps maybe that's going to be a Survivor Series one instead. But let's go back into comments. CD says here, Jade Cargill wins the Women's Championship is my prediction. But keep in mind that Tiffany Stratton lost at Crown Jewel. Do you think they want to get back on track at the same time? That's a very good point there. I think NXT was touched on that already. Jade Cargill can't take a loss at this moment either. That's something certainly I speculated, which, does seem a bit strange if she was to just turn heel and then lose.
That's what I'm saying. I think if you book Jade super strong, make her dominate this match. Like I said, play on the injury that she did, or the leg or the knee that she attacked on SmackDown. Let Jade just absolutely brutalize it. Make it look like Tiffany has no chance of winning this. Like I said, lucky roll up. Interference from someone, I don't know. There's very thin on baby faces on that show at the minute. Just give a reason why this can be pushed on to a repeat at Survivor Series.
I'll be interested to see how they do it. We've come up with suggestions each. Let's see if it goes that way. See, this is Bianca is still waiting for that long reign with that version of the Women's Championship because she won at SummerSlam 2023. But cashed in on her. Very true. And actually also goes on to say that Bianca needs to dethrone Jade for the Women's Championship should that happen at WrestleMania 42. And last comment from CD. We need a draft after WrestleMania 42. I certainly think we need at least a couple of trades before that. As we said, SmackDown seems to need a couple of bodies in there. A couple of other topics then, just quickly. We'll talk on about Drew McIntyre in a second. But just before we do, CD says, I can't believe Tatum Paxi won the NXT Women's Championship. Is that the title that is now known as the unpredictable title? Certainly feels like that could be indeed. But we'll talk about that. We will talk about Tatum Paxi for sure before the end of the video. But we'll move on in the meantime, and let's talk about it next then. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. The rematch, of course, the first time they had it was at WrestlePalooza. Of course, a lot of people expected that show could have been a surprise, but Drew McIntyre could have won the championship. Certainly, if the rumor was right, suggesting that they actually pushed for Drew to win it, but it didn't happen in the end. Was an okay match, to be honest, but I would have expected a bit better. But we're doing it again after Drew allegedly took out Jacob Fatu. Drew was allegedly, well, he's proclaimed he's innocent. He said he's not done it, which makes me think it is someone else. Cody Rhodes, of course, has gone to the aid of Jacob Fatu. They had a match for the WWE Championship on SmackDown, which Cody got himself disqualified because emotions got the best of him. Probably as well after the Crown Jewel defeat. That seemed to be rubbed in a little bit into storytelling as well, that he's taken it to heart a little bit. But yeah, we have another match here between Cody and Drew for the WWE Championship. This also, I think, is going to be another one I think will carry over to Survivor Series, and one which I think where we will get a stipulation match at Survivor Series, whether they're both involved in War Games or in a singles match that involves some weapons of some description. But what's your feelings with Cody and Drew doing it again here at Saturday Night's Main Event?
I think this is the potential to be the shock of the weekend. I think I can see a title change here. I think if you're going to change, if you're going to change one, I think people are expecting Jade to win. You said the other day that you possibly believe there'll be no winner of Punk Jay in that world title scene. But again, I think a lot of people are projecting Punk to win that. I think this match could be the dark horse. I think if you swap this title, put it on Drew finally after years of actually like building Drew up to a point where he should be winning this title and still not doing it. I think this match, honestly, I can see Drew winning it. It's my prediction. I think Drew could do it. I want him to just almost prove the doubters wrong. Do you know what I mean? And I think that there's whatever's going on with Jacob Fatu. I know he's injured, obviously, and there's story narrative they've now got to play out with that. But I think the idea of Drew winning this, again, it's a moment, but it just makes a lot more sense out of all the titles that are on the line on the show. So for me personally, I'm all for Drew winning this one.
So am I. You mentioned something a minute ago, so let's talk about it. Last week on a Q&A, I suggested the idea of CM Punk versus Jey Uso finishing in the no contest, something screwing a finish here. Now, if WWE comes out at the start of this show and guarantees us a brand new world champion, well, I predicted one in the last match in itself. They could also do one here, or at least one of those titles changes hands, and they get away if they do want to do a screw finish for Punk versus Jey Uso. They get away with it because they actually guarantee the promise. It's just not what everyone expected it to be. However, just quickly to go on that, I'm committing to one of Punk or Jay to winning on Saturday Night's Main Event. So there you are, just a bit of a cliffhanger for you to keep to us to the end of the video. I actually am going to put my 2 cents on one person winning. But going into this match, I kind of agree with you because of the fact that Cody hasn't really done anything this time around as WWE champion. Now, obviously, I'm aware he's had time off, shooting movies. He's had the second child, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So, I mean, like, I just feel like at this particular moment, it might make sense here just to change things around here because they suggested that it would be a good idea for WrestlePalooza. I think it would be making a lot more sense here because this is a sort of feud that could just carry on even to the Royal Rumble and then do the title change back to Cody if you want to towards WrestleMania. But things that make sense and WWE booking don't always align. Sorry to burst people's bubbles.
Recently.
I think something is going to be screwy again, which carries the match over to Survivor Series. So I'm going to say Cody retains, but maybe Drew wins.
Oh, so like wins via DQ, so the title doesn't change hands.
Yeah, or a count out or something. I know we've just done it on SmackDown, but I think it could be done in a different kind of way.
I get what you're saying. You're basically saying the same thing I said for the whole Jade Cargill match, and I wouldn't be against it, but I think purely for the shock value of Drew winning is why I've gone with it. Because I think I would be more shocked at Drew winning than I would Jade winning, and I think that's why I would prefer that one more over Jade winning, because I think the shock factor is great, and we get champion Drew finally for longer than 4.5 minutes or whatever it was the last time. So I can genuinely see what you're saying. It's just a case of Cody's done shit all, mate. Sorry, excuse my French, but he's done nothing with that title. He's been part-time champ, almost Brock Lesnar territory here. Turns up every once in a while to piss and moan because someone's upset one of his friends or whatever. We need a new champion. Cody's not doing anything. Drew is the guy. And I don't really want to wait till Rumble. I mean, I'd rather, like you said, put the title on him now. Sure, let Cody win it back at the Rumble, whatever. Let Drew have a little 3-month, 2-month run with the title. Get some fresh matches. Let Cody win it back. Let him go on to WrestleMania and have his sing-song with whoever he's supposed to be facing. I don't know. But I just think that I think this match genuinely has the highest potential for someone to be crowned a new champion.
Interesting. Whilst I agree with you in theory, I just don't have the same confidence. So I'm going to say Cody retains his championship. But there's a big but. I genuinely can see this one going either way. No, I can't. I can see everything you're saying. So you're going Drew, and I'm going Cody.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, sorry, I was making a cheap joke there. It didn't come out right.
Sorry, I've let you down. I can see it.
No, it was me, man. I was too late for me. It's not actually. It's actually earlier than we normally do this, but I'm just here.
There we go. Let's go into it anyway. CD says Cody retains the championship, but don't be surprised if Drew McIntyre wins it because of Randy Orton. Yeah, that would be a factor that I think would be the WrestlePalooza predicted outcome if they do something along that line. SmackDown will be very interesting to see as well how this one will go, because obviously we have had the go home show to judge off either. That usually gives you a bit of an idea of where this one is going to go. Drew McIntyre go
home thing. I genuinely, I think there's two things in wrestling I hate, and it's go home math for WWE, and there's another thing I really hate. I won't say it now because if a lot of you don't know it, it'll ruin wrestling for you forever, and I don't really want to say it, but there is one thing I really hate about it, and it's one of the things, like I said, go home math, and there's just this other thing that happens in wrestling that I genuinely hate.
You wait to see all these comments coming down. What is it? You do have to say, if not, they won't want it. So, Drew McIntyre deserves one last long run as world champion. Agree with that 100%. Racers don't understand why WWE keep giving Jade Cargill a title match when she can't wrestle. I won't be watching any Jade Cargill matches. I said Jade Cargill can't wrestle way back in AEW. I mean, she's not going to be everybody's fan. So, right, you're entitled to that opinion, my friend. That's all I will say. I think she has some good matches. Sometimes, though, still a little bit green. But remember, she's had a lot less matches than probably a lot of your favourites. Daryl, thanks for joining us. Oh, Dari. Sorry, Dari. That's my eyes letting you down. I know I wear glasses. Doesn't mean they do anything. Drew deserves the win. 10,000%. Love that indeed. See, this is imagine CM Punk and Drew McIntyre as world champions at the same time. They both promised each other they wouldn't let that happen. And also says, do you think all the titles will change hands on Saturday night's main event? We said at the start of the video there's actually potential for it, but I would say no, not all the world titles will change hands. Obviously, you've just heard my predictions, but I still think there might be a case that the world champions we do have lose on this show, even though the titles don't change hands.
Yeah, Stephanie Vacquet's got to get booked first for there to be an extra title on this show, by the way. Just because obviously the other 3 titles are on the show. And so, Stephanie Vacquet can't even get TV time at the minute. She's making saves for Nikki Bella or whatever. Like, what a joke.
They have a tag match next week on Raw. Myself, Vacquet versus Bella. Cody Rhodes also lost the crown jewel. They don't want to have him lose back-to-back. True story. Maybe. We'll see. Fun fact as well, Seth and Naomi only had 1 title defense and were both in multi-person matches. So the other crazy similar thing about, hey, there's a lot of similar booking with those, not going to lie. Ray's not looking forward to a lot of adverts on Saturday night's main event. Ray, things have changed. It's on Peacock. It's on Netflix. NBC.
I don't know. I'm still expecting to see you in the 3.5 minutes break that they do put on during like NXT and SmackDown Live.
That hurts. That really hurts. I hope Tiffany doesn't get forgotten because they don't have anything for her. I mean, I think she'll take on Julia after this, whatever happens. So, I think she'll be fine for the time being. But I get your point. I think Tiffany needs to move to Raw after this, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see it. The Raw, even if it's from the Rumble or something, give her like a month off or so.
Transfer window. I think we need that start of the year transfer window desperately just to go into Mania season. Ray says Cody will win. Dara says Cody's so overrated. Yes, he's a good fighter, but he doesn't need to get every single match. But he's going to try his best to outshine Drew because of the crown jewel loss. There you have it. Not in that. Let's move on in the meantime. We're going to talk about the Intercontinental Championship. Here it comes. Dirty Dominik Mysterio defending against Penta and Rusev in a triple threat match because Dominik Mysterio, not necessarily the sharpest knife in the drawer. If there's a number one contenders match, you let the person or let the two guys find it out for a winner. If you get help and El Grande Americano and Los Americanos get involved in the match, you're causing a disqualification and means both of them are entitled to go for a title match. So, Dom, you've done this to yourself a little bit, my friend.
Dumbass. What a dumbass. Look, I hate to say it, but this is another title that could change hands purely for the fact that Dom doesn't have to be involved in the pinfall. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, who's going to suffer more from taking the pinfall, Penta or Rusev? And do you know what? I genuinely feel like Rusev could be pinned in this. Like, he is the scapegoat for this IC title being changed hands. And Penta has just been on a great run this year. And I think if anyone deserves an IC title run, it's going to be Penta. And I just think they've generally put Rusev in it to take the pinfall. And they might sure carry it on afterwards, but obviously Dom still is the AAA is it Mega Champion, I believe they call it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not even like he hasn't got a piece of gold to just be flashing around the place afterwards. So, even then, man, I can see Dom winning it. It's just Dom. Do you know what I mean? It's not like everyone loves him, and I think if anything, more people would be pissed that he's lost that title, and it could actually be detrimental to Penta. Which then I suppose means you would have Rusev win it to get him some major heel heat. I don't know, like, it's a really, really tough match to call. Like, I generally don't know who I'm picking at the minute. I need you to give me some context so I can finally make my decision.
I actually think this is the easiest match to predict of the entire show.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
Dirty Dom's going to find a way out of this. He's dirty, he's Dom, he's going to get through it. That's just... And the rest of the Judgment Day drop championships at the minute. That's what they do. They get thrown under the bus by Dominik Mysterio. He finds a way to get through the other side. They're not going to help him in this one. I can see El Grande and Los Americanos getting involved in this some way because there's no DQs in the triple threat match. Plus, Survivor Series, San Diego. Dominik Mysterio's got to be on that show. It just makes sense. Yeah, Dominik Mysterio versus John Cena, Intercontinental Championship. I think Cena wins the title. I think Cena drops it in his last match to Gunther. That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah, Sheamus. Yeah. Would love to see it. But yeah, I think Dom's retaining here. I just this one just seems straightforward to me.
Look, see, so I told you I need the logical bookings. Survivor Series in San Diego. Yeah, I'm going with Dom now as well. That just makes total sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, there we are. Dominik Mysterio. We've got through that one nice and sharp. If you're enjoying the video so far, hit that like button, by the way. Share a friend, subscribe as well. You've been with us for a while as well, so go on, help us. And you know what? There's this new hype thing as well on YouTube. Give us a hype. That way we can stay hyped. We can get Mojo Rawley on you.
You beat me to it. I was going to say I couldn't do it.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't do it.
No,
right.
we've probably got dislikes now just for saying Mojo Rawley, but there you go. Eric says that Drew deserves the win. This is the only title that I can see staying because of Cena Dom in his hometown. There we are. So there we are. See it again. CD says Dominik Mysterio retains the championship, but why are they treating Sheamus like an enhancement talent? He's getting on a little bit. I don't like to say it. It means I'm getting on a little bit as well, but he's getting on a little bit.
The fact it could be Sheamus against Cena just because of that whole IC Grand Slam champion thing is so funny.
Absolutely. Controversial, but I'm rooting for Penta. There's nothing controversial about that. I would love Penta to win, to be fair, but Dirty Dom is going to win, and I know it. Kind of true. Ray says, are you going to be reading Natalia's book?
If there's an audio book... If there's an audio book, I'll give it a crack. I'm not a very big book reader. Give me an audio book every day of the week. Do you know what I mean? I'll take the dog for an hour and power through an audio book. But yeah, reading is just like, I don't know. Maybe it's a bit of autism, maybe it's a bit of the ADHD or something in me. Something just like my brain just switches off, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm much more of an audio book person.
I couldn't help but smile because just to think having the idea to sit down and read a book would be amazing. Unfortunately, I don't have that time in my life to do that. Unfortunately, I wish I did. But yeah, like you say,
life.
Audio would be the way to go. I'm intrigued by it. I started the Chris Van Vliet interview. I didn't get very far into it. I'll be honest, just because of the fact that I listen to it in the car usually when I do this sort of stuff on the trips to and from work. But yeah, it started pretty cool, that interview. I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of it and hopefully learning a bit about the book that intrigued me a bit further.
I've seen snippets where she talks about TJ and like how she fell in love with him, and I thought like it sounds really genuine and really sweet. So yeah, I'm interested to see what it is.
Be interesting to see how it goes. And CD says he agrees with me on John Cena dropping the IC title to Gunther in his final match as well. Just as well helps why Gunther has this ratio of being a champion in WWE as well. He doesn't want that to drop below 80%, so he needs to win the IC title.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, look, I'd prefer Cena retaining just for like giving up the title and then we do a tournament or something. I think it makes it a bit more interesting. Like Gunther in the IC title scene seems a little bit backwards, but I'm not against Gunther, do you know what I mean, being seen as final opponent.
You could do men matches like Gunther versus Penta, Gunther versus Rusev. There's some stuff you can do.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Right. Just listening out. Hold on. We're going to be moving on to our main event match. As you can see, we've got CM Punk versus JEY USO for the World Heavyweight Championship, the vacated championship, of course, that Seth Rollins had to drop after injury at Crown Jewel. So yeah, CM Punk was the number one contender, won a match on Raw, pinning JEY USO, and LA Knight was in the match as well. We had a battle royale, of course, which JEY USO then won. Of course, he eliminated his brother Jimmy from that battle royal as well. LA Knight was in there, AJ Styles amongst others. So yeah, we've got a singles match here for the World Heavyweight Championship on this show. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed did want to be involved in the battle royal, but of course were not. Paul Heyman told it was best to wait. They asked this week on Raw, why couldn't we just been in it? Well, Heyman said, well, why target 17 guys when you can wait and see a winner and then target that one guy? I'm like, oh, okay. That was enough information I needed from Paul Heyman to tell me this match is going to have a clean winner. They are going to go all in. I don't see a screwy finish unless one of them is turning heel here. That's the way I see a screwy finish. An interesting note. Go on.
Isn't one of them already? Isn't Jay already technically? I suppose he's a bit tweener, isn't he? Really, and we're borderline territory of that heel switch. Really, I see what you mean. Yeah,
he's still eating with babies on Raw. He's still a face. He's just he has conflicting moments, and he's currently doing now what's best for JEY USO. Which if you look previously, he helped Roman to crash in Paris. It cost him his title match. He helped Jimmy on Raw. It cost him his number one contenders match, which we mentioned. He lost and got pinned by CM Punk. There are moments where JEY USO has been looking out for others and it's not helped. And now he said, I'm doing it for me. And Punk has said, well, actually, you shouldn't boo that. That's good. You finally shown you got the credentials to be the guy. But how far are you willing to go to win this title was the key question CM Punk asked him. How far are you willing to go? Because I know how far I've got to go and win that. I had that title in my hands for a few minutes at SummerSlam. And now I know I need to win that title. It wasn't long enough for me at this stage of my career. And JEY USO pretty much said, yeah, let's throw down. But it wasn't really the answer about it. JEY USO was pretty much, I'm going to come back, I'm going to win, yeet. But that wasn't really the question. It was asked, how far are you willing to go? There's a further story in this. I'm willing to commit early. I think JEY USO might be winning this world title.
Win it as well. Dude, I think exactly the same thing.
So many people think CM Punk is winning this match. And I don't mean to throw shade on Saturday night's main event, but this story we've had with Punk and Seth Rollins, it screamed at least Royal Rumble, at least WrestleMania. A bit of a bigger stage, dare I say, for Punk to win and hold this title for a lengthier time. Okay, you can do Punk versus Bron Breakker afterwards, for example, but I feel like it makes more sense to do Jay in that position afterwards. Whether he's turned heel or not turned heel, I'm not sure of how the logistics work out. But according to Meltzer, Breakker is planning to get into this world title picture. So that'll be interesting as well. Will it be a face Jay? Will it be a face Punk? I don't know what they're going to do. It may be that Breakker wins the title as well. I'm not sure, but I just got this feeling that Jay's going to win this. I don't know. It's in the back of my head. I can't drop it. Usually, I'd always say Punk, but something tells me here it's Jey Uso.
Dude, I'm in exactly the same boat. Again, Punk should be the obvious answer, and I just think it's going to be more a case of Braun and Bronson are probably going to end up costing Punk that title. Jay will win it. He's probably still going to almost turn heel in the process. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. But I think either way, Jay's going to walk out with this title because it's going to be a case of Bron Breakker is going to think that Jey Uso is an easier opponent to beat than CM Punk. And I think we're then going to get Jay versus Breakker for the foreseeable future for that title. I think Breakker will win that title eventually. And I honestly, I think at this point it's going to be Punk versus Breakker at Mania for that title.
Interesting. Not Seth.
Well, this is all dependent on when Seth comes back, isn't it? Like, don't get me wrong, Seth Punk is my Mania Night 2 dream match, but do you know what I mean? He's injured. How long he's injured for? I don't think we're privy to it at the minute, but I think as a change-up, Bron Breakker is like the next big thing. CM Punk, arguably one of the biggest people in the company. If you want someone to have a moment at the Rumble or moment at Mania, and you put him in there with one of the biggest guys in the company, Bron Breakker is, like I said, he's that next big guy. So I think Jay walks out with his title, and I think people are going to shit all over it, just like they did at the Rumble, just like they did at Mania, and just like they did at the Rumble. I think people are honestly the Sunday night, Monday morning. It's all it's going to be is X, which is obviously a cancerous pit of hell anyway. But it's just going to be people pissing and moaning about Jay winning that title. Oh, I can't believe Jay's won it. Jay's won this. Jay's won that. I think it's the right move to go. I think in terms of story and narrative, it's a lot more better. It's less predictable. It's more intriguing. It's just, if anything, it almost gives him a second chance to give Jay a decent run with the title and just be like, here, look, if you turn heel, make it your own. I mean, geez, we could even get Jay versus Roman for the title at some point between now and the Rumble or whatever. If you want to keep Breakker with CM Punk, because obviously Breakker costs him the title, these two feud out till say the Rumble time. Roman comes back, he wants a shot at Jay. Even let Jimmy have a shot at him for the title, because obviously Jay eliminated him. Get this whole like Jimmy versus Jay versus Roman for the world title scene going for like Rumble season. And then if you want to change the title to Roman and then do Roman Cody, I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean? I think that whatever they want to do, I think it's just more interesting in the long term if Jay wins it.
I agree with a lot of what you just said there. As much as this is where I'm at. I want Punk to win, but I think it's better that Jay wins here because Jay got like 7 weeks as champion before, and a lot of people crapped on, he's been buried, all the rest of it. Don't forget, back in the time when the Attitude Era was going on, the titles were changing like hot potato every 6 weeks anyway. So that was a long reign considered then. And we go through John Cena's reigns as champion. Jey Uso's run, I think, is longer than 10 of Cena's runs as champion. So it just goes to show how much the title can be hot potatoed. But Jay has not had a proper run with it, like you say. And I just feel right now it's more interesting for the character dynamic because, like you said, let's just say Breakker and Bronson do play a factor into this match. It could be a case that they attack Punk. They could have attacked Jay as well, but rather than being a case of like Jay attacking them, fending them off, he does what he needs to win this match and win the title. He does what he needs to do, how far he's willing to go to win it. But then after the match, maybe then it's like, well, hang on, I'm going to do the right thing now because I'm now the world champion. I've got what I needed for me. Now I can go and help my friends, or I can help the people I respect. And it still helps set up for War Games. It adds tension for a future match with Punk and Jey Uso again further down the line, but they have to coexist inside of War Games because I still think we've got Bloodline versus Vision. For Jey Uso, I agree. Much more interesting matches out there because you could do Jimmy if you wanted to. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but Jimmy is the face. Jay is tweener if you want. Eating with babies, but he'll win the ring. Roman Reigns is there to, he's been taking off Romanisms of tribal chief Roman Reigns, heel Roman Reigns.
There's so much untapped potential story with Roman as well, especially like obviously if you go back to the whole bloodline starting and the Hell in a Cell match that they had and everything. Do you know what I mean? There's so much that they can play off to make a really good narrative with Roman. So I'd be well up for that.
Certainly. And the thing is as well, Roman screamed at the Crown Jewel show, people don't think I can do it on my own. Jay's just shown then he could do it on his own, technically. Because, all right, there would be some shenanigans to win the title, but he took advantage of it and he made it work for him. He was only himself. Didn't have a Paul Heyman in his corner. He didn't have a bloodline helping him, covering his back every 5 seconds. So he does it on his own.
Roman,
And, I mean, like I said, with the Romanisms he's been taking from like heel Roman Reigns, it could be a case that he comes for the Udafala next. I'm ready now to be the tribal chief, and it gets to his head and it becomes a big thing once again. Off you go back to the bloodline storyline. Or alternatively, we've talked about this before, Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn. What if Sami wins the Rumble? Do Sami versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania for the world title. That's interesting. That's fun.
I'd be so confident with them two having an absolute killer match as well, because Sami will carry Jay to at least a 4-star match. I'd be much more intrigued to see that. If anything, that makes perfect sense. Sami versus Jay is the perfect match for both of them to have at WrestleMania. It gives people what they want, which is the Sami Rumble win in Saudi Arabia. Jay can actually have a decent, credible match at WrestleMania against a decent, credible opposition. Like, you can proper heel Jay up between now and WrestleMania. And like as you said, if Sami wins the Rumble, that's such a good booking.
It would be a lot of fun to see. And for those that are going on the CM Punk side of things of the coin, but Punk's waiting for his time, how long's he got left, and all the rest of this. I agree. I kind of agree. But as I said, I think Saturday night's main event just feels like not the highest profile stage. It's not WWE's biggest market if you want to throw that title on Punk. And Survivor Series then if you want to do it, or Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. But here's my catch. I actually think we've seen that poster come out now with the, all the guys in there, with the shoes and the suits that end up being the combos for WrestleMania tickets. And I said this previously, I think we're getting Cody versus Punk at WrestleMania. That's the match I think we will get. And I actually think that Punk is going to win the title from Cody, like at WrestleMania.
Punk's going to win Chamber, I think. I think that's how they set that up as well. Because that makes, makes so much more sense. And let's be honest, I'd rather Punk have the WWE Championship than the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that's a much more, just in terms of lineage, you think where Punk came from, he was the guy that, he held the WWE Championship. He is a guy that should be wearing the WWE Championship because the world title is, it's a secondary belt. It's not got the prestige as what the WWE one has, and I think it's a bigger deal if he wins it off Cody.
I agree, and I feel as well. You mentioned winning the.
Oh my god! Punk versus Drew for the WWE Championship at Mania.
That could be fun.
Because again, you can play off the lineage of the whole story from last year, man.
I mean, it would probably have to be after Mania if CM Punk beat Cody at Mania, but yeah, you could do it as a SummerSlam.
I'm saying, if Drew wins it this weekend, you could do Punk versus Drew at Mania.
No, that would be good.
Give Cody Roman Reigns, or give Cody Randy Orton. Cody Randy Orton's dream match. Everyone wants to see it. Don't need to be a title involved in that. That's purely for history and, do you know what I mean, coming up through the business together and all that kind of stuff. Don't need a championship. Give me Punk versus Drew, Cody versus Orton, Sami versus Jay. I'll be content with that. I think that's a great Mania card.
I would love that. I think it'd be awesome. And just to say, by the way, you mentioned about Punk winning Elimination Chamber. Where is the chamber going to be held at next year?
Chicago. Is it Chicago by any chance? Yeah, of course it is. Oh God. Have we sussed it? I think we've cracked the code here for booking there from now until April. We're probably 100% wrong, but we got the right booking.
We have ideas in our head. We'll see if the comments agree with us in a couple of seconds' time. But we've talked ourselves into it. Punk's probably winning, but is Jey Uso the prediction?
Yeah, I'm going with Jey Uso.
I'm going with Jey Uso as well. So you got to be bold. You got to be brave. If you can't be bold or brave, what are we doing here?
Who are we? What is this fake podcast? Why are we predicting the wrong answers here? Why do people watch us just to guess the wrong answers, eh?
Yeah, we'll see. CD, and this is great for Mania 42 as well, by the way. What if Sheamus dethroned Gunther at WrestleMania 42?
Oh, you sign me up. That's it. That's the one you want. That is it. Sheamus Gunther for the IC title, WrestleMania. Well done, C Nation. Perfect.
Fucking love that. Absolutely love that. Ray says, when will we see John Cena next on WWE TV? It will be on November the 10th, I believe is the date, and it's going to be taking place in Boston.
Raw, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Raw. This is penultimate Raw. So November 10th at Boston, and then he's going to be in Madison Square Garden for his final Raw the week after, and then it will be obviously Survivor Series in San Diego, and then finishing on Saturday night's main event.
Can't believe his final match is going to have no TV time build for it at all. I think that's a joke.
They've got to do something to build the opponent, as we mentioned before.
I'm telling you now, his last match is not happening at Saturday night's main event with no build. Essentially, the guy that carried him for 20 years, and you're going to treat him. That's essentially a Goldberg promo at the end of the show. Thanks for your 20 years, John, but you're not worth it. You're not worth the TV time or the effort to even build it. What a pile of crap.
I mean, they would have had the dates well in advance of what Cena would be able to attend to. I would like to think they've had time to build stories, but at this point, it just feels like they're going to give us matches.
No one goes out in December, man. His final match is. I'm telling you now, John Cena's having a match at Mania. I'm telling you, one of the goats of all time, and he's not going out in a Mania match. No, don't believe it for 1 minute.
All right, let's have a bit of fun. I want to get to the comments because we've not been to them, but let's just say quickly, what if John Cena's last match is promoted? And I've seen other people predict this. I can't remember where, so I can't give credit, unfortunately, which is really bad of me. But suggesting, what if The Rock comes out and John Cena's last match and says, "I own you. You sold your soul to me. You don't quit and have your last match when you say. You have it when I say. You're going all the way to Mania."
Can we? Is it against Rock? By the way, are we doing Rock's?
I don't know. Probably
third in a lifetime generational matches that we're not supposed to get. I don't know. Like I said, either way. No, I don't think it should be Rock. Regardless, I think it should actually genuinely be like the next big thing, like a Bron Breakker, for example. Hey, look, there's another match we've just thrown on the card. Bron Breakker retiring John Cena at WrestleMania. Look, where's that fantasy booking WrestleMania video we did? We need to redo it. Yeah, look, I mean, sure, if they want to do something stupid like that, why not? But just as long as it isn't Rock Cena, I'll be fine with it.
We'll remake that video next week, so we'll try and get it out next week for start of November for our good friends and subscribers.
Exactly the same.
Probably. And it might be a shorter video for everyone. That'd be nice. This week, Owen House, good to see you on the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Hope you're doing well. He says, "A Punk loses, I riot." It's not a good way to treat the living room.
If you've just missed the last 10 minutes, don't go back and look at our predictions then.
No. But Dari says, "Jay better win this match. Can't stand CM Punk."
Oh, boo you. In
Kyle
the nicest
says,
way possible, but boo you.
No yeet from Kyle as well there. Ray says, there is a WWE 2K25 John Cena Farewell Tour Edition pack. Yeah, the pack is £13.49. The game edition is ridiculous.
That's about the same value as they've spent on promoting his final match for Saturday night in the main event.
Not the tickets, though. Can add a few extra zeros at the end of that.
No, definitely not.
CD says, "Fudge, I want to change my prediction to JEY USO, but it's too late because I already posted my predictions video." CD, that's a great plug. People go and check that predictions video after our one, please. Maybe a tweener JEY USO when he feuds with Bron Breakker. Certainly could be a way to see. Yeah. Ray says, "I want to see CM Punk win. JEY USO's had his time as world champion."
Yeah.
Would you like it if AJ Lee helped CM Punk win the title?
AJ Lee just needs to be booked for some reason. She hasn't been seen in a month. I think they've sent an SOS distress signal trying to find her because how she hasn't faced Becky Lynch already for the IC title, I do not know.
No, she's willing to let Maxine go first now.
Yeah, don't understand it, but sure.
Yeah. Rikishi's going to be dancing if JEY USO wins the World Heavyweight Championship. Love to see it. Love to see it. Darius says, "Oh my God, yes, Sammy versus Jay would be fantastic for Royal Rumble WrestleMania. Would be nail biting match for sure. Certainly would be."
Yeah, we've been predicting that for about a year, that Sammy's going to win the Rumble.
Pretty much. We really hope it comes in. Kyle says, what you just said is why I want Punk to win. He doesn't have much time left.
It's a fair shout.
It's fair. I want Punk to have his moment before he does retire, but I want it to. Survivor Series is fine. Rumble's fine. Anything but Saturday night's main event.
The blessing is when we go to do this WrestleMania prediction video is that we'll know that if Drew is champion or if Jay is champion or if Punk is champion. So it's going to completely we've either already predicted half the match card or we've just got to completely rethink it anyway for next week.
There you are, and that's facts. I actually have a really fun idea, by the way, for one WrestleMania match. I've had this under my nose for a little while. I've not even told NXT Steve it because I want his genuine reaction on camera when we do it. I think he will love it, and I think you will as well. CD says, "What if Drew McIntyre wins the title from Cody, and then we get CM Punk versus Drew, just like you mentioned there? Yeah, that would be nice. And then NXT is cooking: Randy versus Cody, Punk versus McIntyre." Fantastic. Carl says, wow, good call with the Chicago pull. Shoot, you may have convinced me. We might get some J votes.
I'm glad you know where these shows are going to be, because honestly, I'd be like trying to find a needle in a haystack trying to predict some of this stuff.
I mean, unless WWE sells the rights to another town beforehand, it's not as if we haven't seen that happen before, have we?
Possibly. Yeah.
What did you think? Just quickly, by the way, sorry, CD, for that comment. We'll come back to me. What did you think, by the way? Money in the Bank, I believe, is in New Orleans next year. Moved to September after SummerSlam.
I'm not against it. I think it's. I don't know. There's no because it's essentially the fifth biggest show of the year now because of what it is. It's a guaranteed cash in for most people, like a guaranteed world title. There is no ideal place to do it. If on it, I'll get my words out in a minute. I think they should just generally scrap the pay-per-view anyway and just move the Money in the Bank match to WrestleMania because it's an excuse to get 12 people on the WrestleMania card without having to do any booking or the minimalist amount of booking, and you've got 12 names on the card already, and they've got a calendar year from Mania to Mania to use it. I'm not against them moving it. It's not really going to affect us in any way. I suppose it probably just means that they don't have to book a long enough creative story for the Money in the Bank winner going forward.
Yeah. For me, I agree with what you said, but I prefer to be on WrestleMania as well. I just feel like for me, as a concept, it works better in that sort of environment.
Just to say, every time we've done a WrestleMania predictions video, what we doing? We're always trying to find a way to get like 18 people on the card, and we throw in like fatal 4-way tag team matches just to get people on. Money in the Bank match is 12 people guaranteed already.
Absolutely, yeah. But there's one thing I would say positive with this move from the summer to September. After SummerSlam to Survivor Series is probably the biggest lull period of the entire year, so it's actually a good excuse to have something. Yeah. Could be a good excuse to get people in. So there you are. CD says CM Punk definitely isn't winning the Royal Rumble. He'll be in the Elimination Chamber since it's in Chicago. Yep. WWE spoiled it. There you are. Ray, I hope Sammy wins the Royal Rumble and becomes world champion. Loving that. And Ray also. Love Ray. I love Ray. Give the stream a thumb up. Please do. If you enjoyed the video, it really helps the channel a long way. And hit the hype as well. Enough hypes. This video will really get shooting out into the algorithm of YouTube. And we could really do with that help these days. CD says, Triple H is jealous of John Cena. That's my theory. Is it Austin's theory?
It's not like Triple H can wrestle anymore. And he probably gets paid a hell of a lot of money for doing his job. I don't know. Is there a lot to be jealous about? 17 World Championships, is that it? I don't know.
He booked it. He could have booked him to not win the 17th World Championship.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm not sure I agree with that one, but there you are. Yeah. Is John Cena the GOAT? I think depending on your generation of wrestling fan, like if you've watched wrestling from 2002 onwards, I would say yes. I think he's
if you were born in the early to mid 90s, probably yes.
Yeah. For us, we've been in the game a bit longer. I think John Cena has to be in consideration in Mount Rushmore. I don't have him as the GOAT.
There is 4 names for the Mount Rushmore. They are Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, John Cena, and Roman Reigns. They are the generational talents. They are the four. They are the four. You might not like it, but they are the four that carried the business and transcended the business for other reasons. So, like I said, Hulk Hogan is essentially why WWE was so big in the first place, from the 80s through to the 90s. Austin was the largest star in the Attitude Era. Personally, my GOAT. Cena carried the company for 20 years. Roman Reigns has just come off, what was it, 1,130 something days as a champion, which is unseen of in modern times. They're the four.
There you are. That saved you a video in the future, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Love that. Love that. We missed that. Do you miss the Mount Rushmore videos? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to know that. Yeah. Last 5 minutes, we'll wrap things up and then let's get through our comments then, and let's give some love to our subscribers. CD says The Rock will come back and say that's the main event to never show up again after, and John Cena will face someone else. Sounds about right from Rock's booking.
Yep.
Have you seen the movie yet that he's done?
What one?
Oh, I can forget the name of it. It's a Smash Machine or something. Clearly, no.
The one that's actually been bombed by critics. No, I haven't seen it. I'll be honest with you. I saw the trailer for it. I didn't even know it was The Rock, and I was like, okay. So I don't know. I guess when you don't look like The Rock, no people don't want to watch it. I don't know. He has no appeal to me. Like you only watch his films because it's The Rock. You wouldn't watch 9 out of 10 of his films otherwise.
No, true story. The Rock presented a Kid Pride of Britain Awards. That's nice. Didn't know that. See, this says CM Punk had a short reign, whatever champion, as well as Jey Uso's 50 days. So, yeah, it's not as bad. That's true. Some have minute reigns these days. So, yeah, I don't think Jey was buried back then. Sammy versus Jey for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker at WrestleMania 42. That makes sense as well, on judging current booking in WWE.
I don't know. If Seth's back, they'll probably do Roman Seth because that's what they want to do.
I like this point from CD. Good. Money in the Bank and King of the Ring were too close together.
If King of the Ring meant anything, I'd have a problem with it. But it's a glorified tournament, and they don't put half as much effort into it as what they should do. No,
but then at least now they start getting title opportunities at SummerSlam. So I like that factor that's been brought back in. It means a bit more than it did. So yeah. CD says, I think LA Knight is going to be getting punished for holding up the sign because he wasn't supposed to do that. Time will tell, but I like his shot.
What sign was that? Did I miss something?
Yes, on Raw, there was a fan that had a sign in the crowd that said, we want LA Knight, not Jey Uso, presumably as world champion. And LA Knight pulled out the sign and held it up.
Hey, look, you got to do what you got to do. I do not blame LA Knight for doing it.
No. I think
the problem you have is that will they listen? And we've just seen the last year with Karrion Kross. The guy was over, people wanted him, and what did they do? Didn't book him.
LA Knight is getting close, and he's getting close to something. I'm not quite sure what it is at the moment. It's not quite the World Heavyweight title, but he's certainly moving up in the pecking order. There just might be a bit too many people going for the World Heavyweight title on Raw for him just right now.
Yeah, it's just a waiting game for him, unfortunately. I hope he'll win that world title at some point.
Me too. I really, really do. CD says Seth Rollins will forever beat the best Money in the Bank winner. Certainly have to agree.
How dare you, CD, critique Austin Theory and his phenomenal run as Money in the Bank winner?
In fairness, I really enjoyed trying to cash in every time and getting knocked out by Tyson Fury. Those things were quite entertaining. But the cash in on the United States Championship will forever haunt me.
You might not be old enough to remember the likes of Mr. Anderson and how great his run as Money in the Bank winner was.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Kennedy, wasn't it? It was Anderson.
Was Kennedy, yeah. Yeah, Anderson was TNA. And he held the briefcase for, it was meant to be till next WrestleMania. And then he ended up having to get rid of it because it didn't quite work out. Anyway, already hit like for the stream. City, you're a good one. We love you for that. Triple H wanted to be the guy, but he never was. He just sees John Cena come in and outdo him, made him a 17 world champion. But this is John Cena's retirement tour, so he had to do it. But hey, Cena, you've got
his retirement year.
Yeah.
Hey, look, fair enough.
John Cena was booked as a loser before his retirement tour. Remember, he didn't win the singles match for a while, and a lot of that was on Triple H. There you are.
Not really. Vince was still in charge for most of that, to be fair.
I mean, 2018, so yeah, Vince would have been charged for about 4 4 years of it. And Triple H is now
Probably
about 3 years.
Yeah.
It's nearly half.
Who had him lose to Baron Corbin? Was it Baron Corbin? No, it was Kurt
That was
Angle,
Vince.
sorry.
That was Vince.
Yeah, that was
For
Vince, yeah.
Kurt Angle. That was dirty. I needed a shower after that one. Ray said Hulk Hogan was my favorite. Stone Cold was my favorite back in the Attitude Era. God, I love that indeed. There, I love it. CD says I don't think Seth Rollins is coming back on time for WrestleMania 42. Sadly, I've no time frame on his comeback, so interesting to see on that one. I hope he'll be back. CD says that Lisa LA Knight won the US title. What did Karrion Kross say?
NXT champion. Don't discredit the NXT championship. It's the best title in the business.
Ray had the King of the Ring game back in the day on the Game Boy. Love that. Love that. That's a nice little throwback. We did a retro of King of the Ring 1993, so check that out if you haven't seen that already. That's a lot of fun.
Segue.
What if they just give LA Knight the IC title? Do you think fans would be happy or upset? I think they'd be happy, but I think they want him higher.
The fact is, he's being booked higher. So I think, if anything, the IC title is, although it's great because it's the IC title, it's not the world title, and that's what everyone wants to see him with.
Yeah, agreed.
It's ridiculous how much that guy is like Austin in terms of promo work, and yet they just don't, like, they're giving the same guy that says 4 letters, 1 word, yeet every week, a world title, and is the most uncharismatic person. They give him a world title, yet LA Knight, nothing. Yeah,
well, need to yeet with babies. That's what gets you there. Did you like when Wayne Rooney slapped Wade Barrett on Raw those years ago? To be honest, I don't remember it.
Yeah, it was one of the Raws in the UK. It was quite funny. Wade Barrett giving Rooney some stick, and he ended up copping it one around the face.
I remember Rooney being about. I can't remember the slap. Maybe need to YouTube that. Need to YouTube it. So this is I'm talking about Karrion Kross main roster run, but yes, NXT Championship was all that he had in WWE as well. Right, just before we wrap things up, we're done with our Saturday night's main event, and thank you all for your lovely comments. But we were asked about Halloween Havoc, so I am going to ask NXT if you can just give me your quick overall thoughts of the show. Did you enjoy it? Was it good? Was it bad? What do you think about Tatum Paxley winning the women's title? Give it all for us in a couple of minutes.
Generally and overall a decent show. Tatum Paxley winning the title was an amazing happy shock, I would suppose. It's kind of the same as I felt when Indy Hartwell won the championship. Bit random because it's not like Tatum Paxley's been the most consistently well booked person. So how long it lasts, you never know. We've just seen JC Jane have a 4 or 5 month run with it with the championship, and no one thought she was going to win that. Ethan Page against Dr. Wayne Jr. Fantastic match. I'm trying to think what else was on the card now because my brain's completely gone blank. Zarya losing the North American Championship. That's, I think, for me, is a bit of a cop out. I don't know if Sol is legitimately injured, but I think it's a cop out way for Sol not to take a pinfall and to put the title on Blake Monroe. I think that's poor in my efforts. And then Trick Williams versus Ricky Starks, not their best match, but I'm hoping they're building to an even bigger match with that, because I think they're facing each other again in 2 weeks or something. So I don't know. Hopefully, it's building to something or someone getting moved up to the main roster.
It'll be interesting. For me, there's one definition of Halloween Havoc this year: fun. I just thought it was a fun show from start to finish. I really enjoyed the tag team match with Leon Slater and Javon Evans against the Mr. Iguana.
Spooky bollocks for a Halloween show, though.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the thing is, everyone had the makeup, everyone had the dress up. There was probably not as much spin the wheel business going on this year, but other than that, I just thought it was a fun show.
Tatum Paxley gets to spin the wheel on NXT for her opponent. Well, what's that about? Is that how we decide number one contenders now? We just, put their names on a wheel and spin it and see what lands.
I mean, Shawn Michaels, I guess, trying to be creative. I haven't seen NXT yet, so I got no idea with this stuff. So yeah, that's fair. Whatever.
And for some reason as well, they have, like I said, it's a wheel and it has names on it, but for some reason they feel they need to put what brands they're on. I think there's one person from LFG, I think there's a couple from Evolve, and I'm like, who cares what brand they're on? Why is this a thing? Stop. Why are you trying to it's almost like you're trying to degrade him at this point. What, Nikita Lyons has been demoted to Evolve now because she's not good enough for NXT or something? It's a bit weird.
Yeah, fair. I need to go and check this out. That's all I will say. But yeah, I agree with you. Tatum Paxi was moment of the night. Was fantastic. Really, really well booked and executed finish of that match as well. I believe Soul Rookie is legitimately injured, so I thought it was a clever way to do the title change. It helps with character development with Zaru as well. She's not as good and in the same league as Soul Rookie. That's going to lead to a heel turn further down the line when it does happen. So that will be interesting when it does play out.
NXT will give you your plot keys for that bit.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Dark State survived the Hardys in what was a very chaotic weapons match. My favorite match was Ethan Page versus Dr. Wagner Jr., which was not a match I was that invested in going into the show, but I thought it was very well executed. So credit to both guys for doing a killer match for the North American Championship.
I cannot wait for your reaction to what his plan is next, because NXT they gave us a teaser for what his next plan is, and it's fantastic. It's great.
Yeah, there you are. There you are. Yeah, interesting stuff. Yeah, interesting. I'm excited for it. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a fun show. So yeah, just give our thoughts on that there. But that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. So now we turn the attention over to you. That's right. So Saturday night's main event taking place this weekend. If you've watched to this point, then thank you very much for watching. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe, hype the video as well. All that good stuff to try and help the channel out a little bit. And we really do appreciate everyone's support and viewing time. And just generally chit-chatting with us as well. We love having you all here, so thank you so much for that. Let us know in the comments below if you haven't already on the video. Let us know who you think is going to be winning. Is it going to be CM Punk? Is it JEY USO? Do you see any shocks taking place on the show? And yeah, I'm sure there'll be some reaction from myself and Steve coming on the channel later in the week. And for those that are interested in SCW Rewind, yes, we have recorded one. Buried Alive in Your House is going to be dropping later in the week. Either tomorrow or Friday is the suspected time frame of it coming up, due to, of course, it being Halloween week. But yeah, thanks for watching. Look after yourselves and each other. We will see you for the next one. Yeet.